So I was just like cracking up, just saying like, these people are all people who are in their late 30s, like pushing 40 and stuff.
I mean, technically, we don't really know Adam Brody's age, do we? Did he say his age?
We don't, but he's looked the same for the past 15 years. Jennifer's Body, that movie's like a decade old now, and he looked the same in that movie.
Drive-by movies, you're watching
Fresh Releases.
My name is Blaze.
And my name is James.
This week, we're talking the brand new film, Promising Young Woman.
Why do you guys have to ruin everything?
It's a day of reckoning. For everyone.
Promising Young Woman stars Carey Mulligan, and it's about her being traumatized by a tragic event from her past, and she seeks out vengeance against those who have crossed her path. It also has Alison Brie, and it's the directorial debut from Emerald Fennell. She's also known for like mainly TV work, but she wrote and directed this feature film. It played at Sundance last year and apparently got a lot of hype from there. And it was meant to come out last year. We all know what happened last year, and we're finally getting it on video on demand. It was playing in theaters during Christmas, but a lot of people have been talking about it, and I'm excited to talk about it. Blaze, what'd you think about Promising Young Woman?
I felt like this movie was the answer to Get Out, but for women. That's exactly how this movie felt for me. It was just like literally Get Out, but just for women, and that's honestly what made it so enjoyable. It's less of like a horror movie where Get Out is entirely like this kind of horror movie. This is more of a dark comedy, which actually was, really smartly written, a lot of fun, and I absolutely enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is a really funny movie, and granted, we just showed a clip from the trailer before we started getting into our thoughts on the movie. I'm just going to say, don't watch the trailer. I watched it after watching the movie. I knew what the premise was about the movie. I knew it was going to be like a drama with some black humor in there. But the trailer really, like a lot of indie movies, that's a problem. It was the same thing with The Rental last year. That was one of my favorite movies of last year. And I didn't check out the trailer just because I knew I wanted to see it. I was like, oh, Joe Swanberg is attached with helping write and produce it. It's a directorial debut from not James Franco, Dave Franco. And he was in it, as well as like a lot of actors that I liked a lot. Actually, Alison Brie was in that movie. What do you know? But the trailer revealed too much because these are indie movies, and like, of course, you want to show all the cool things that happen in the climactic scenes. So avoid watching the trailer for this movie is what I'm getting at, because I really genuinely enjoyed like a lot of the surprises that kind of happened towards the end, and there's some really dark twists and turns throughout the movie. Like, this movie got dark, but it's super funny, and I really liked it. It's actually, I don't know whether to consider it one of my favorites of 2020 or 2021 at least, but I really enjoyed this movie. Like, I thought it was fantastic.
I feel like it's safe to say I would still consider it. I mean, you can consider it for both. I guess you can check both boxes for this one, because it kind of is a 2020 movie, but then at the same time, I feel like a lot of people just aren't even having the discussion, like us included, about just 2020.
Yeah.
It's just going to be this whole 2-year period for us and like the best movies of that time, probably. Mm-hmm. So we'll put this one on the shelf for now, at least, I feel like, when it comes to talking about best movies of 2020.
Yeah, it's weird because we're getting like movies from last year coming out, but we're also getting movies that were supposed to come out this year at the same time too. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of what you got to do, I guess, at this point in time. But yeah, definitely, if you're watching this and you haven't checked out the movie, I'd say just pause this, go ahead and go watch the movie. We'll probably try and stay away from spoilers, but you never know. We enjoyed the movie. We're going to be talking about it. We might get into some spoilers here and there. But yeah, I thought that it was just really cleverly written. I think that was probably one of the most pleasurable things about this movie, was how smart it was. Because I think if just on paper, okay, let's change Get Out, like that whole kind of concept, and make it possibly for women, that seems like it's just kind of hacky. Like, it's just, you're literally taking another popular movie essentially, and there's just a lot of similarities to be drawn, but it's really the writing that makes this movie shine, and doesn't make it just a hack job sort of thing. Like, it's very smartly written. And that's really what like I took away from it, was enjoying that, beyond just the fact that I do really put Carey Mulligan up there as one of my favorite actresses. I think she always picks good projects, this being one of those great projects that she really shows us a side that like I felt like I hadn't seen her really in a role like this before. It's just a very interesting role that maybe given in the hands of an actress that wasn't as good of an actress, I guess you could say, it might not have been, this film definitely wouldn't have been as good, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Carey Mulligan, the movies that I always think about for her are In Education and of course Drive. Those are movies that like where it's really hard for her to grasp control of like the like crazy situation she was in, like. And I really liked in this movie, it was definitely very different for her, like what you're saying, where she's the one taking absolute control within this movie. And, you know, it's powerful stuff seeing her like it was like very believable seeing like what she's able to accomplish and why she's accomplishing it. And this movie's like coming out, you know, still like, of course, the Me Too movement is never going to go away, but like it was huge 2 years ago. And this is definitely like coming out still at the right time. And you know, like just the way it tackles toxic masculinity is just like very comedic in ways, but also like needs to be seen for some people too still. Like what's it called? Christopher Mintz-Plasse from Superbad, like seeing the way he was within this movie and stuff, and just seeing like the way he handles her change of persona and stuff. Like, and the great intro also with was that Adam Brody at the beginning of the movie? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that, I thought that was like a fantastic sequence as well too, and just like, you know, I really liked a lot of those moments and how creepy they got, but also like how comedic they were at the same time. Yeah,
it was an interesting cast of actors that had to play this role that I don't think anyone would want to play. Mm-hmm. And it kind of depressed me that these were actors that we don't see that often, right? And it almost felt like they're like this is their last role. You, I guess, go out with a bang. I don't know. Like, I think that both Adam Brody, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, some of the actors in this movie aren't in that many big roles. So it was funny to see them like kind of in these roles, but they're just total creeps. Mm-hmm. So where I don't know. I just felt bad for the actors. I'm like, how many people are going to take this away and just think of like Christopher Mintz-Plasse as like a freak? Like, yeah. You know?
Yeah, it's funny because they never really played creepy characters, but like, yeah, everyone's kind of doing the opposite character than we normally see them in, which was, you know, very refreshing and like stuff I love to see. I love to see actors pushing their boundaries. So that was like a really cool thing to see. One thing though that I thought was like a little like interesting was just growing up, like high school movies when I was in high school, movies like Scream or The Faculty, seeing like late 20s, early 30s people playing, you know, high school kids. I'm 30, and this movie, everyone's 29 or 30. They bring it up multiple times because they're all from the same class. And so I was just like cracking up, just saying like, you know, these people are all people who are in their late 30s, like pushing 40 and stuff, like the guy from New Girl, Adam Brody and stuff, but they're all playing like early 30, like 29-year-old people. So I was just cracking up at that. If I had like one complaint, I'm like, you're not fooling me with this and stuff. Like, no offense, like Carey Mulligan's beautiful and like she's like aged gracefully and stuff, but like I was like, she's not 29 in this. Yeah.
I think she's only about 34 or 35, so I don't think she was pushing as much as some of the other people in this film.
Definitely like Adam Brody and stuff though. That guy's like yeah. Getting there and stuff.
I mean, technically we don't really know Adam Brody's age, do we? Did he say his age?
We don't, but he's looked the same for the past 15 years. Jennifer's Body, that movie's like a decade old now, and he looked the same in that movie.
I think he's looked more like the same for longer. I would say about 20 years at this point.
You're right.
Like, I feel like he's never aged, like, since the OC maybe even.
Yeah. Like Christopher Mintz-Plasse, though, like, I mean, you know it's him, but, like, he's definitely grown up, though, yeah.
Yeah, not great. Like, I feel bad for
He looks like a hipster that you would see at like, you know, Santa Monica Brew Works. Like, I wouldn't be surprised when COVID's over and that brewery's like open. I'm there without a mask sipping a beer. I'm like, oh, look, it's Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Working there? Or is he just there as like a patron?
No, I'm just saying in general, I feel like I'd see him there. Yeah.
The working behind the bar.
Not working, but just like, you know, there with like maybe having a reunion with Michael Cera. Like, what the hell's Michael Cera up to these days? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most people are just kind of taking it easy at this moment. There's not really much work to go around, I guess. But what's the last movie we saw Michael Cera in?
For me, I feel like it was Scott Pilgrim. Yeah.
No, there's no way. He was in a ton of stuff after Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, maybe TV shows. I mean, movie. I know he was in Twin Peaks for like a special, like just a
Arrested
really quick
Development
cameo role. Yeah,
he was back in that.
Yeah,
he's been in many things. Magic. How could you forget Magic?
I really wanted to see that movie, but I didn't get around to seeing it. But yeah.
Well, maybe you're gonna have to. But anyways, we are talking about Promising Young Woman. I say go check it out. I think there's kind of some gripes. I felt like the end of the movie was almost too dark in a way. Like I felt like there were ways to get around the ending without the consequences of what actually had to happen for the ending to really pay off in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I really don't want to spoil the movie and stuff, but like one of the darkest moments of the movie, happens with only 15 minutes left within the movie. And it's kind of played off very comedically with the two side characters that we're introduced to. And it's still like, is a satisfying end, I'd say. I like that, like, there's like some full circle moments, especially within Alfred Molina's character. I know that he's playing like a ex-lawyer within this movie. So I like that he came back into fruition with this. But yeah, it still ended very like suddenly, but it still felt satisfying for me. I definitely see what you're saying. I enjoyed it, but like I get where you're coming from though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it didn't match the tone of the movie, but I think when it comes to the main character, I felt like there were ways around doing that, but still getting the same results essentially. Yeah. And it's not that I felt like the ending was almost too dark, that it didn't pay off in a way that we could have gotten the same exact ending, and it maybe been neater, I guess, because I felt like even though we kind of know what the ending's gonna be at that point, like it almost, you lose interest because of certain things that happen, like a character not being around anymore. I kind of like, that was the driving force of me watching the movie, and then I'm just not really interested anymore. Sorry for the spoilers, but I gave the warning there, and it just felt like that was the only thing I really disliked about it. Everything up until that moment, though, I absolutely love about this movie, and I definitely recommend anyone, if you haven't seen it, go check this out. Hopefully you had already watched this and I didn't spoil anything for you too much, but you should have been watching this anyways. Like, just go watch the movie.
Yeah, I see that it's been one of the top talked about movies on Letterboxd recently. It's definitely worth the hype. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorites. If I agree to put it on my 2021 list, like it's definitely going to be in my top. I'd say it's probably going to be in my top 5, honestly, because what do I have to look forward to this year? It's just going to be, we're going to get a few superhero movies this year. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Definitely check it out. Like, rent it right now. Like, it's fantastic. Best way to help support the show is by renting it through our Amazon affiliate link in our description box below. Like, come back, let us know what you thought about the movie, the twist turns. Do you agree with Blaze with the ending and stuff? Do you agree that's one of the best? Like, talk to us about it.
Definitely. And if you haven't already, guys, go ahead and smash that like button, comment below, let us know what you thought of the movie, and hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
And if you can't get enough of us on YouTube, we're also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Be sure to follow us down below with our links down there. That's going to conclude this week's episode of Fresh Releases. Tune in next week for a brand new video.